Good evening, my name is Mackenzie Maxwell, and I'll be discussing autonomous vehicles in the manufacturing industry. Autonomous vehicles are the new upcoming technology that will soon take over the country as they are continuing to be made. These vehicles are vehicles that can drive themselves and that are mainly technology-based. Whether they are not officially out and driving on the roads, there are many modifications of self-driving vehicles now, such as lane assistant and stop protection out at the moment. Companies predict that within the next year, self-driving vehicles will be the next big thing on the streets. This presentation will evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of self-driving vehicles and if the vehicles should be put out onto the road legally and how they would benefit manufacturing companies. So for my methods for this paper in general, I use secondary and primary sources. I was able to take the secondary sources and review other authors' work and to see how well they found all this information and how they applied it to the technology. And for the primary sources, I was able to look at raw data to analyze about roughly how the statistics would be on safety when it comes to the self-driving cars. And from calculating all these results, I was able to come to the conclusion that the vehicles would benefit society as the possibilities would be endless. With self-driving vehicles, the future would be changed completely in the way society operates, and it would be very beneficial for manufacturing companies as they could use self-driving semis and cargo trucks and would be able to really just put out their production way faster when it comes to delivering goods. Some of the advantages of the self-driving vehicles would that it could have fewer car accidents and would promote safe driving. This is good when it comes to your company. When it comes to driving these cars, there's human error everywhere, and so when it comes to self-driving cars, you have less human error involved. And then you also have fewer accidents related to drinking and driving as well as texting and driving. When you come to the workforce, you don't really have a lot of drinking and driving related accidents, but when it comes to like semi-trucks and cargo, there's always the possibility of texting and driving. And when you do have these autonomous vehicles, you eliminate the possibility of texting and driving as well because the car would be driving itself. And an accident caused by texting and driving with a manufacturing company could ultimately cost millions, and your company could go bankrupt if it was such a, catastrophic event. Self-driving cars or vehicles would also open up doors for the disabled as they would now be able to operate machinery, which they wouldn't really be operating machinery, but all machinery, whether it's human-based or self-operating, technology-based, it still needs to be overseen. So the disabled would be able to do jobs or supervise machinery that they wouldn't have been able to do before the autonomous aspect of it came in because it's less demanding, physical demanding when it comes to it. Another advantage would be the company advancements. The company would benefit lots in prices as it would be so much cheaper to have self-driving vehicles as they would have less labor costs and their safety would increase, and then your shipping times would also be insanely faster as when you have humans driving, you have to deal with, stopping for sleeping or just basic human needs. When you have autonomous vehicles, it really eliminates all that. Now, the disadvantages of the self-driving cars is that there's always the problem of manufacturing malfunction when the car or the technology could fail. This could be really catastrophic in the sense that if a vehicle was to crash or the technology was to, fail, then, that could cost millions in a company. However, by the time that these vehicles are actually put on to the road, the technology will be so advanced by then that the possibility of a technology failure would be very, very low. Would be highly unlikely because technology just improves day by day. A disadvantage, another one, would be a decrease of jobs in the economy. By putting self-driving vehicles or on autonomous machinery, you're really going to have a loss of jobs because those machineries are just going to take jobs away because you're no longer going to need people to work those. So that's a kind of disadvantage, but at the same time it could be an advantage for the company as they'd be saving money. You're going to have to deal with law changes when it comes to like putting big stuff out onto the streets. It comes with like car crashes. How would you handle if a machine was to get in an accident, not a human, because you can't really take that into court. It doesn't work. You can't sentence a car, but like with anything, they could always create laws to prevent this. So that's kind of a general standpoint of a disadvantage. And another one would be that some skeptics are afraid that cars couldn't be able to handle the unpredictable events such as weather or pedestrians, but recent studies have shown that there's already technologies coming out there's one called Blink, and it's where cars are able to communicate with pedestrians on the street and are able to be able to communicate safely. In conclusion, autonomous vehicles would greatly benefit manufacturing companies by helping able to use self-driving cargo trucks, 18-wheelers, and self-operating robots. The possibility for companies are endless. Manufacturing companies would see an increase in their safety as well as a decrease in their costs. While there are some disadvantages to self-driving vehicles, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. With this new technology, society would be changed for the better as they can create efficiency, change people's quality of life, and foster positive impacts on the environment. Thank you for listening.